Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Gorilla Simulator. It is another game from the hashtag glitchjam, which is a game jam that's been sponsored by Game Jolt, in which developers create a game in a very short amount of time where the essential component and core gameplay mechanic revolves around some sort of glitchy gameplay. And in this case, we're going to be playing as a gorilla whose sole mission in life is to destroy all humans. Yes, I know, that's another game reference. But we're going to be wandering around a landscape as a gorilla who can both fart and throw TNT. And I know that there's been a little bit of controversy around game simulators, which has become a pretty out-of-control genre lately, and if you've been following Game Jolt with any regularity, you'll notice that there have been like dozens of these games showing up, and I promised myself I wouldn't cover too many of them because most of them have basically absolutely no content, and I know I'm one to talk considering I have quite an affinity for something called Goat Simulator. I found the whole irreverent premise of it to be quite fun, and there was also enough gameplay to it that it actually felt pretty fun and enjoyable and just silly. And, you know, sometimes you're just in the mood to play something mindless and silly like that, and this is not quite as robust as Goat Simulator, which, again, I know I'm saying something by saying that, but it is worth at least a quick look. So why don't we jump into it and let the chaos begin. Okay, so here we are. There is a message over here that says, "Sup, Mr. Gorilla, your mission is to go to the city and kill every human you see, winky face." Alright, good to know. I'm glad we're keeping a sense of humor about the whole kill all the humans thing. And in the top left corner, you'll notice there is a humans and gorillas killed meter. Humans in green, gorillas in red, I guess to denote that, you know, killing humans, totally cool. Go ahead and do that. Gorillas being killed? No, red, stop, bad. And what are our weapons of choice in this particular case? Well, first I want to notice, or point out, that our gorilla has quite the walk animation. His legs are like 3 inches tall, in contrast to his body, and I'm sure that's just some sort of funny modeling constraint. Anyway, it just sort of provides a funny framework for this whole thing to even exist in. But let's walk over here first of all and hold shift to run. Hello, other fellow gorilla. How do you feel about farts? Yes, you enjoy them very much, I'm sure. Okay, well, they dedicated a whole button to that, which is great, and we can also bend over and fart, and then it comes out of the center of our back, so that's good. There's not really a whole lot to see or do, unfortunately, in this first little area that we start up in, but why don't we head over in the direction of the human city, which is actually all the way over there, and you'll see the draw distance as things pop into place. There's also going to be some trees that'll bend into existence, and I'm very glad that we can run. Otherwise, this walk animation would be quite arduous. I think you'll agree with me on that one, right? We'll take a little detour off into these bright green flowers. Yeah, and there's actually some pretty nice stuff going on here. So we've got some projected shadows. Well, I mean, it's a Unity game, so all of this is mostly happening just by default. But, you know, the flowers are swaying in the wind. Gorilla's got the projected shadows. The walk animation, like I said, it's silly, but the run animation actually looks okay. And then we're going to get into the good stuff when we head over here and start admiring all of the beautiful architecture and maybe get into some of the actual human destruction that we're set to do. It's actually surprisingly not very violent, despite how it seems to be getting framed. And look at those flickering rooftops off in the distance. My goodness. It's a little bit iffy there, isn't it? Oh, so that's TNT. It sometimes appears as a barrel that will just circle in place for some reason, but I can also spawn TNT if I choose by pressing left click. The barrels selectively roll, and that's okay, because it's not that important for them to be modeled super accurately, but this group of people here, well, they just noticed me, because they're a little bit silly and vapid like that, but let's walk up to one of them and see. They run kind of faster than me, so maybe I should probably stick to ones that aren't running quite as much, or maybe all of them will run. Well, I just want to play tag, and, oh, well, they turn into gorillas when you touch them, so isn't that weird? So that human, did it die, or did it just turn into a gorilla? I am not sure. Let's watch the counter this time when I touch the next human. Oh yeah, they actually do die. So I guess I have the gorilla Midas touch when it comes to how I deal with humans, but as you probably have noticed, there are a lot of situations where you can't always reach a human, and what do you want to do in that situation? Well, you want to use your TNT for that. Now, that doesn't blow up the humans as you would expect it to. It actually really just converts them into gorillas, And that's okay, because irreverent rather, silly gameplay mechanic kind of feeds into another one. And what you end up with is some sort of bizarre atrocity, I guess, where gorillas are flying into the air, chain comboing off of other gorillas, shooting TNT at other gorillas who are turning humans into gorillas, who are then dying and turning into gorillas. It's a lot of gorillas. And, you know, in this wild world that we're in, you know, guerrilla warfare is sometimes the way that things need to get done. Look at this dynamite barrel that's just, like, out of control, glitching through the ground. They did make a note at the beginning that's like, all glitches are intentional, and plus, this is part of the glitch jam, so it's not like I'm saying this not realizing that this is completely the way that it's supposed to be. It's quite hilarious, actually, and it's reminding me of Goat Simulator quite a bit, so, you know, in that respect, well done. We'll make some more gorillas. So when we get to 20 humans killed, or converted, I guess, or assimilated, or whatever you want to call it, we then will have access to a number of cheat codes, and by codes I mean single buttons that we can press on our keypad, and I believe those buttons are 1 through 3. Okay, well, there we go. I think we've reached our goal. The humans will continue to spawn as far as I'm aware, so I don't think there's any actual winning this challenge, but let's see what we can do now. So I can press 1 to spawn what looks to be a dead gorilla, and we can spawn them maybe into the... Can we spawn them in the ground halfway? Oh god, excuse me. I was working for a moment there. Alright, so I have died. Oh, that's fine. And then there's just a gorilla butt sticking up through the ground. Should probably fart on that, right? I haven't been doing nearly enough farting, I think, for this episode. Let's, oh, I hit myself with that barrel. By the way, we can hit R if we need to respawn, but it seems like the game usually seems to take care of that. Oh, good duck, man. That was a pretty wild duck. Alright, so you might notice that we've been doing a little bit of this gorilla assimilation process, and there seems to be a number of them walking around in the city. We haven't quite converted all of the humans yet, but that is our goal. We'll press 2 a little bit, and that'll make some more humans, and what I can do is pile them all together into a little cluster, and then bombard them all with dynamite, and watch everything get wacky, because I can actually continue to spawn the dynamite well after I don't exist anymore. And I think what that causes for me to fall through the floor, and that's a big problem, because I, sometimes, if I let myself fall too far, I'll actually just end up not being able to recover. But thankfully, I thought quickly, and I was able to actually shoot myself back up through the collision box underneath. So if you're wondering what's going on over here, well, not a whole lot. It's just kind of an empty, fancy suburbanite neighborhood, I guess. It's like really fancy architecture, but it's also sort of downscale too, so I'm not really sure where we're supposed to be. It's a strange rural mountain town taken over by gorillas with some high design ethos, and that's cool. So let's continue to walk over here. We'll see if there's any other humans in need of bombardment. I wish there were some collectibles or something, though, or like some little secrets to run into, because as far as I can tell, it's just pretty much an empty landscape other than this one area. The mountains, you can't really climb up them, unfortunately, otherwise I would have done that already. I mean, I can give it a try anyway, so you can see what I'm talking about, but I didn't seem to find much success in that. Also, you can press 3 to summon barrels of TNT, and I'm not quite sure why you would do that, because you can also just press left-click, but I guess because that throws them. Why would you want to just summon one in place, though? That's the question that I have. And the side of this building doesn't appear to be textured, but no problem whatsoever. Let's see if we can climb this right here. What is our capacity for ascension? It's actually higher than I thought. Okay, I actually really didn't think I was able to get up to something like this. Continue to break the game. Let's see how high we can get and look down at the town below us and hopefully throw lots of barrels down at it. And then maybe one single plumber will make his way to the top to try and rescue the princess. Who knows? Anything is possible here. We're getting pretty up there. Is the town derezzing yet? Oh, that's silly. What's that about? Alright, let's throw lots of barrels. And they probably will actually go off before they even reach the ground. Alright, well, that's a nice victory throw there. Let's jump down and see if that fall distance ragdolls our character. I don't think it's going to, though. Nope. Gorilla's real good at falls. And I guess that's really all there is to show, unfortunately, for Gorilla Simulator. It's surprisingly, mesmerizingly silly, and I ended up playing it for far longer than I expected to. Something about seeing all the people turn into gorillas and then bounce around in ragdoll I don't know, that just was all it needed to really be to grab my attention, so... I'm hoping that maybe as this continues on in development, they'll add some more features and areas and stuff to do, and I will gladly come back to this and play it some more. It's certainly more feature-rich than Rock Simulator or Lamp Simulator, I'll give it that, but that's not saying much of anything, because there is absolutely no function, well, comparatively, there's absolutely no function to the game. Whereas in this one, you can at least run around and do silly stuff. I would like it if the gorilla could maybe steal a car, and then we could, like, drive over the humans Carmageddon style or something. Oh, we got a little arm wiggle. Did you see that? That was a little Goat Simulator nod right there. Alright, one more time. Let's go out with a bang. Get all the humans together, packed tightly into a bundle, and then we will drop all of the dynamites on them and see what happens. Here we go. Crash it good, game. Oh, it's a gorilla fountain. It's a gorilla fountain. Oh, yes, it's wrecked. It's totally wrecked. Thanks, everybody, for watching, guys. Make sure you catch the link in the description if you'd like to follow more or try this yourself. It is a pretty weird time. But I will be back for another episode tomorrow. If you enjoyed it, consider leaving a like on it. And I hope you all have a fantastic night. I'll talk to you all later.